Well, here we are. The first week of December 2023 is just about gone. Now, of course, those of you who are with us know that we've basically been celebrating the new year going back to the fall time in September, October. But those of you who stick to the calendar year, you have the challenges of bringing this year to an end and obviously bringing 24 in, hopefully. And how many times have we said this? Hopefully a better year. And maybe this will be the leap year that will finally make that happen. I hope so. Pray for it to be so for you and me. Interesting Ideas is a program where we try to help you with a little bit of ideas, insight, perhaps ways to grow your influence, grow your audience, make an impact in life, hopefully get some good income. And by doing that, we hope that you will be able to live better starting right now. Live better starting right now. It's Monday, Meeting the Marketplace, and it is, again, the first week of December. Now I'm told that now, and this is kind of silly, now you can put up your holiday lights without people thinking you're stupid. Well, no, who cares what people think? Put up your holiday lights when you want, but it's more than appropriate now. Obviously, the Christmas Advent season has begun for those in that tradition. And of course, this week we will begin the celebration of Hanukkah, which is truly the festival of lights. Now, I would encourage you, no matter what your tradition, I do this, I read the story. What is the Festival of Lights, and what is that Menorah deal and those candles? What is it all about? Well, if you don't know, why don't you take some time this week to find out? It's an incredible story. It's a miracle story. Now, I can't call it a Christmas miracle, but it's a miracle story, but it's a Hanukkah miracle story. And as my title is today, every good story is a rescue story, and that is certainly one of them. I rescued myself from a high cable bill. Finally, my wife and I put together the cable special that we had ordered when we first moved to Carolina. Was a good deal, but now the special, after 2 years, expired, and all of a sudden we get this monstrous cable bill. And, we'd been thinking about this, and so, we finally found ways, because I don't watch that much television, and Karen is kind of limited to the things that she watches, so we cut the cable and took the cable box back to the cable company. They were expecting that. That happens more and more, and I give Spectrum a real bow. Even though we were cutting the service, they were very kind and very gracious to us and made it very possible for us to do that. So we cut the cable, and we're being a little more frugal and perhaps even a little more thoughtful in our use of the television set. So those are some of the things we did, but I would love to hear from you. What are you thinking about? What's important to you? What would be some of the subjects we could help you with in this coming year for you? And what I would like to do is just continue the idea that I brought before you. Every good story is a rescue story. And this is the season where we celebrate that. And it may be something that, particularly when we're talking about hostages and that terrible tragedy that is continuing, and hopefully something will happen, maybe a Christmas, Hanukkah, some kind of miracle will perhaps begin to bring that war to an end. But sometimes we know that there is a time for peace and there is a time for war, and who knows what will be, except that the bloodshed and the violence will continue for a while. So we will be in peace and prayer in our own lives and hope that perhaps that might spread from us to other parts of the world. Long introduction, but hopefully it was helpful. This is Interesting Ideas, and the rescue story starts right now. Recently, some of you may remember that I did a video and a radio program. It was kind of hard to do, but I did it. I took a section from the movie Apollo 13, which is familiar to many of you. And of course, what it is, the entire film is about this tragedy that takes place, and the 3 astronauts on their way to the moon, they're going to die. I mean, how can we bring them back and bring them back alive? And that was the story. It was a rescue story. Now, I pointed out at this time, I want you to think a little bit more about it. Basically, every good story is a rescue story, you know? Something has happened. Something has gone wrong. Something is aspiring, and it doesn't know if we're going to make that. But the stories that connect with us are stories where something was lost, something was hoped for, something went, haywire, something got messed up, but we worked it out. Something happened. And maybe even in the tragedy, there was a sense of, good stories are rescue stories. And so think about that. People love rescue stories, And of course, if you want to write a good story and sell it, maybe you just want to write a tragedy and depress people. But if you want to sell your story, it's best that throughout the tragedy and throughout the triumph and throughout whatever is going on, that something comes forward that is a bit of a rescue. Now, that's exactly, as I said, what the Hanukkah story is all about. It's the miracle of the candles. The Jews are rebelling against somebody who has oppressed them. And a miracle. They're rescued. Now, those of us in the more liturgical tradition of the church, oftentimes during the 4 Sundays leading up to the Christmas celebration, which is called Advent, which is, it's the start of the new year for the church, and it is the season of waiting, getting ready for the Christmas, the birth of Jesus holiday. That's what it's all about, and going from there. And one of the songs that in many churches they sing, sometimes even without instruments in the beginning, they sing the very famous Christmas carol, O come, Emmanuel. O come, Emmanuel. Have you heard that song? I'm sure many of you have. It's played a lot. Many of you have probably sung it. But what's the next line? O come, Emmanuel, and rescue captive Israel. Rescue. Now the story is, when that's being told, is that the state of Israel at the time and the state of the world, it was dark. It was terrible. There was oppression going on. The world's a mess. And Israel, the people of Israel, the Jews, are in captivity. They're hostage. And the prayer is, the song is, the wish is, hey, rescue us. Rescue us. And the point is that supposedly the birth of God coming to earth in Jesus is he's here to rescue us. He's here to save us. He's here to take us out of the darkness. He's here to help us and care for us. And it's something we can't do ourselves. We're all hostages to bad situations, and we can't work it out ourselves. And so we need to be rescued. And so the Christmas story, and by the way, it's not always a pleasant story. Many of you know that the whole idea of Mary and Joseph having to, while she's 9 months pregnant, make the way all the way down to Bethlehem from up in Nazareth where they live, and they get there and there's no place, the Holiday Inn is full, and so they land up in a cattle stall, and that's where she gives birth to the baby. And the story is tough. Then what happens? Well, the story of the wise men supposedly making their way because they saw a star, and the story doesn't seem to imply that they were there the very night of the birth like the shepherds were. The cowboys. Shepherds were cowboys, by the way. They weren't the rich people. They weren't the ranchers who owned the cattle. The shepherds didn't own those sheep. They were working the night shift because somebody else owned the sheep, and they're just paid to look after them, rescue the sheep if they go astray, and because the sheep go astray. That's what sheep do. So you can't just leave them alone all night. Someone's got to be there to rescue them or keep them from getting into trouble, because that'll happen to them. The wolves will come, or somebody will come and steal them or kill them. So they're there to rescue them in case the sheep get into trouble. And so that happened supposedly the night of the Christmas story. But the wise men come later, and supposedly they tipped off the king of the Jews, Herod, what they were up to, that they saw a star where the king of the Jews was born. They want to find him. And supposedly he says to them, well, that's nice. Well, go find him and then come back and tell me where he is, and then I can go and, of course, I can worship him too. Well, he had no intentions of worshiping him. If he could find out that there was some young child that is going to be the king of the Jews, let's kill him. Well, of course, they missed him because Holy Family ran away. They got word from God, get out of here. It's time to split, and this is it. And as a result, they killed all the other babies. The murder of the innocents. A whole bunch of young boys under the age of 2 were murdered. Yeah, that's part of the story. Well, all I'm simply trying to say today is that, a lot of what we are made for is we are to be the people who, when we see the world the way it is. I just put a new kind of a, little ending on my emails. I found a picture of an old-fashioned lamplighter. We actually had those every night. Usually a man, had to go, and they were gas lights. They had gas that come into them, not electricity, and he'd have to light them. And then, of course, in the morning, he'd have to put them out and then light them at night. And so I'm simply saying, be a lamplighter. Be somebody who turns on the lights, helps to get rid of some of the darkness. Like a bright Friday. Make it bright. Make it bold. Make it beautiful. Make it full of light. And where there are all kinds of lights, there's not any darkness. And I'm thinking that perhaps that's what we are called to be, and perhaps called to think about, to be a lamplighter, to be a rescuer, to be in a place where we truly are living out what the whole story is all about. It's about rescuing us. God loved the world that he said, I think I have to rescue them. I've rescued them before. And I've rescued them before. And I've rescued them before. And now I'm going to rescue them again. And you know what? God's still in the rescue business. And we are called to be like him. I'm Stan Houston. Interesting ideas. Just let the whole story sit on your head for a while. Thank you very much. By the way, I'm doing what I love. I'm being on the radio. And by the way, I'm going to help a whole lot of other people who are fellow Rotarians, perhaps, to have their own radio program. And What It Takes Radio is here to make sure that you will finally have the courage to escape, to rescue yourself from being afraid and scared and not believing that you have anything worthwhile to say. I'm going to rescue you and give you a voice to speak your wisdom, insight, and truth, and to tell your story and to make your mark in the universe in some small way, maybe to help change your world and maybe make a change in the world. Or as someone said, maybe help create a whole different world. So reach out to me. As a business performance coach, I can help you build your business. As a radio guy, I can help you build your own radio program. If you've got a business that is struggling to reach their audience and have greater sales, we can help you do that. And perhaps you'd like to be, as I spent many of my years being, a coach, a business coach, a world-class business performance coach. That's also a part of the deal. We're going to help you make your impact going forward. Reach out to me and tell me, here's the question, how can I help you? How can I rescue you? Let me know, and we'll see if we can make it so. Bye for now.